Welcome to BidSmart 2019. I'm Kara Bockenheimer of Brown and Fortunato. In this online tutorial, we're going to talk about lead item pricing and bidding. Check out our other online tutorials for these other important changes for the 2021 bid program. There'll be tutorials on the higher bid ceiling, bid surety bonds, maximum winning bid, and other items as well. But these four items are the four big changes for the round 2021 bid program. And remember, the bid window opens July 16th of 2019 and will be open for 60 days for contracts that are scheduled to begin in January of 2021. In November 2018, the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, or CMS, changed the method of bidding in its final rule that they published that month. Previously, you would bid on every single HCPCS code in a product category. That is no longer the case. The new method is called lead item pricing, and it appears simpler on its face because for every single product category, bidders are inputting a single bid per product category. However, bidders must also understand that that lead item bid will determine the prices for all of the non-lead items in that category. So bidders must do an extensive analysis and understand the impacts of the price of the lead item on the resulting prices of all the non-lead items in that product category, and bidders must ensure that the resulting non-lead item prices are sustainable. As we talked about under lead item pricing, bidders will bid only on the lead item, which is a single HCPCS code within a single product category in a competitive bid area, or CBA. Lead item pricing has a number of other implications, and CMS had to make some other changes, definitional and otherwise. So the lead item will be the item with the highest total national allowed charges during the base period. What does that mean? That means that lead item is essentially the item that the Medicare program paid the most for during that base period. In most categories, it's fairly obvious exactly which item that's going to be. For example, in the oxygen category, E1390, the concentrator, will be the lead item for that category. So as a result of lead item pricing, CMS had to make some other changes, including some of the definitions. The term composite bid is a term that CMS uses, and it is how CMS compares bidders to each other. So CMS had to revise the definition of composite bid to be the bid submitted by the supplier for the lead item in the product category. Therefore, if you see the term composite bid, all it is referring to is the lead item in that particular product category. And when CMS is essentially lining up bidders from low prices to high prices, they will be lining up based upon bidders what are called composite bids, which again is simply the price for the lead item in a product category. Lead item pricing, therefore, has impacts on other issues within the competitive bidding program. As part of the process, CMS wants to ensure that there are a sufficient number of bidders or contractors during the 3-year contract period to meet the expected beneficiary demand. So instead of using all of the HCPCS codes in a product category, CMS will just be using the lead item to calculate expected beneficiary demand, making the assumption that if the contractors can meet the demand for the lead item, then they will also be able to meet the demand for all of the non-lead items. The lead item also drives total supplier capacity in the product category. And what that means is similar to the beneficiary demand, CMS will be only totaling the supplier capacity related to the lead item. They will not be including supplier capacity for all of the non-lead items. Again, CMS will be making the assumption if the supplier or the contractor or the bidder can provide a certain number of lead items, then it can also provide the number of non-lead items that will be required during that contract period, in conjunction with all of the other contractors in that particular bid area. So the lead item, single payment amount, or SPA, as we talked about before, is used to establish the prices or SPAs for all of the other items in the product categories or the non-lead items. But how are those actually created? The non-lead item SPAs are going to be based on the relative difference in the fee schedule amounts for the lead and non-lead items based upon the 2015 fee schedule. So what does that mean? What that means is that if an item in 2015 under the unadjusted fee schedule was $200, and at the same year, one of the non-lead items was $100, then in the 2021 bid program, if that same item ends up being $150, the second or non-lead item will be half of that, will be $75. So therefore, the 2015 unadjusted fee schedules will determine the relative pricing ratios. Those pricing ratios are reflected in our bid calculators, which you can see on the same website. And so you can see with 100% precision what the impact will be of any lead price that you choose, and you can try a variety of them to see how that impacts the prices for the non-lead items. Let's look at a concrete example of how a lead item price impacts and creates a non-lead item. This particular example is from the standard power wheelchair category, and we're looking at a KO823, which will be the lead item, the item that Medicare program paid the most money on in the base year, a Group 2 power wheelchair with captain's chair. If you look at the 2015 fee schedule for that lead item, it was about $578. And if you pick out one non-lead item, and in this instance we'll look at one of the batteries, the price was $107.25 in 2015. What you need to do is look at the relative payment amount, or the ratio, between that lead item and the non-lead item. So the $578 represents the 100% as the lead item, and if you look at the 2015 fee schedule amount for the non-lead item, the battery, the 107 represents 18% of that $578. So that means that whatever the single payment amount or the bid price ends up being for the lead item, the KO823, for that particular battery, the resulting non-lead item price will be 18% of that lead item SPA, or single payment amount. And in this instance, based upon this example, if the SPA for the lead item of the Group 2 power wheelchair, or KO823, ends up being $433.88, then the non-lead item, this particular battery, will be 18% of that, which is $80.44. Lead item presents a number of new challenges compared to the previous bid program, and it's important that bidders are aware of all of these so we can make sure that we overcome them. The first issue is product categories, and this issue has already been solved. It is important with lead item pricing that product categories only include items that are essentially in the same family of product. And CMS agreed with the industry recommendations and established 16 more discrete product categories than we've had in previous bid programs. For example, we have separate bid product categories for standard power wheelchairs, separate product category for standard manual wheelchairs, a separate product category for sleep and RAD, separate product category for oxygen, etc. And take a look at the CBIC website as well as our website, and you can look at all of those product categories and see what HCPCS codes are included in each of them. Now, the most important thing about lead item pricing when we're talking about challenges is making sure that bidders consider all of their costs for furnishing all the items in the product category. It's important that just because you're inputting a single price as the lead item, that you still have to look at the impact of that lead item pricing and how that cascades and creates prices for all the non-lead items. We've created a bid calculator tool on this website that allows you to do a significant amount of analysis and understand the impact of different lead item prices on all the non-lead items in a particular product category. When you look at the bid calculator, and please look at our tutorial, we're going to walk you through it as a separate tutorial, you can pull it up product category by product category. You can input the exact competitive bidding area that you're interested in bidding in, so the numbers are real. And you can input different lead item prices and see the resulting prices of non-lead items. In addition, you can also see how the resulting prices would compare to today's 2019 Medicare payment rates. We express those both as dollars and percentages, and we show you whether those rates go higher than today's payment rates, and the block turns green, or whether they are lower than today's rates, and the block will turn red. We've also input columns that you can put your acquisition and indirect costs and profit margin, and to see the net profit and loss by HCPCS code within each of those product categories. I can't underscore enough the importance of playing with that bid calculator to see the impact of lead item pricing on non-lead items. On this slide, we've pulled out a quote from the CMS final rule from last November. This was actually in the preamble, which is the area of the regulation where the government explains their thinking and rationale behind the changes that they're making. This is a quote where CMS is talking about lead item pricing and the importance of looking at non-lead item pricing, the resulting, and making sure that those numbers make sense. And what CMS says is that bidders should consider their costs for furnishing all items in the product category when formulating their bid for the lead item. If you cannot accept a payment reduction of 50% for a non-lead item, you would need to factor this into what you bid for the lead item, because that bid for the lead item also represents the bid for furnishing all of the items in the product category, i.e. all those non-lead items. And CMS goes on to say that bidders may have to bid an amount that is higher than the amount they would bid if they were bidding just for the lead item in order to factor in the cost of furnishing all of the other items in the product category. This is really the issue of lead item pricing and what it boils down to. Bidders really need to understand the lead item price impact on the non-lead items and to make sure that those are sustainable, and if they are chosen as a contractor, they would be able to provide all of the items as you will be required to do so under the contracts. You're already on our website. Thank you for visiting. Please make sure you sign up for email alerts. Please go to the bid calculator. Also check out the other online tutorials, and thank you for listening.